It is the last day of UN negotiations on implementing the Paris Climate Change Agreement after 2 weeks of talks. For the latest, let's go now to our Natalie Carney in Bonn. Natalie, the conference is about to end. Give us a wrap-up of the major topics under discussion there.
Well, yes, the rule book, quote unquote, for the Paris Agreement is what technical negotiators have been trying to design over the last 2 weeks, covering the areas of transparency, finance, and quite frankly, the practicality and implication or the implementation of the Paris Agreement. What we understand is they have come up with a 180-page document that focuses predominantly on the mitigation to global warming, but the state of Germany has said that they are quite happy with that document. We still don't have all details on that yet, and we have heard that it has not yet been ratified by all the leaders. That could take still some months to really refine and define the terminology within that document, and it could be something that we see only being signed in Paris, so COP24 next year. As well, we've also heard that the parties have decided on a draft decision on the implementation of their pre-2020 climate action responsibilities. Now, basically, this just sets out and makes it clear the moves and the projects that they will put in motion between now and 2020, when, of course, the Paris Agreement does come into play. And then yesterday, on Thursday, the second to last day here, we did also hear of a quite interesting coalition that's gaining a lot of support called the Power Past Coal Coalition. So far, they have more than 20 partners on board. It was initiated by Canada and the United Kingdom to try to spearhead and influence and lead the rest of the world on a path away from coal energy. So I would have to say those are the three major developments at this time here on the last day at COP23.
Natalie, what will the conference mean to future efforts to counter the effects of global warming?
That's a very good question, and one that's asked every single COP session. Again, I think the big thing really is that all this is just going to promote more action, more commitment from all the parties involved. Very disturbing reports were released at this COP23. For instance, the very first day, the United Nations Environment Agency released a report saying that 2017 is on track to be the hottest year, one of the 3 hottest years in the industrialized time, which is very concerning, considering the Paris Agreement aims and focuses on bringing down global temperatures. We see that so far work being done towards that has not been successful, has not been good enough. As well, we got the global carbon budget for saying that CO2 emissions are likely to increase by 2% by the end of this year. Again, another very disappointing momentum, particularly as CO2 emissions have been stable for the last 3 years. And then the UN Environment Program emissions gap report showed that current pledges, financial pledges, in this drive towards bringing about this monumental global change to clean energy will only deliver a third of what is needed to stay in the safe zone of the Paris Agreement. So again, more money is needed, and it needs to be allocated to the right areas in order for us to abide by the Paris Agreement and reach the goals that were set out in it.
Our Natalie Carney in Bonn for us. Natalie, thank you so much.